Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you. Thanks to the last speaker, I've learned a lot, and so many of the things I had in mind, you highlighted deeply into them. And also, I want to thank our pastor because he has been a father. I want us to celebrate grace in his life. Let's celebrate grace in the life of pastor. All right, thank you very much. Well, I'm just a young man trying to survive, and in the course of my journey so far, I've been able to have some kind of experience that is guiding me through. I think, yeah, I have my slides here. So, I'm an entrepreneur. I don't have a company, but in the course of my work experience, I've been able to have some kind of experience towards entrepreneurship. Shortly after the next slide. Okay. Yeah, I'm a special educator by God. I studied education from my NC back in Nigeria to the university, and I focus on learners with learning difficulty. And when I did my master's, I focused on autism. So why studying learning difficulty? So one of those peculiar things about kids or people with learning problems is some have problems with writing. Those are the basic problems they have. Some with reading and mathematics, handling simple mathematics calculation. So the mathematics part, which I studied with the learning disability, gave me a job as a financial advisor. Yeah, so after my NYC, just 3 months, I got a job with FBN Insurance in Nigeria. So FBN Insurance back then were partnering with Sanlam Insurance. It's a big insurance company in South Africa. I think they do have a branch here too in the UK. So I worked as a financial advisor, and working as a financial advisor actually gave me this insight of being an entrepreneur, because I was able to decide my business on my own. I remember back then when we were in the office, me and my guys, one of those things we do is we chase big premiums. We go to companies, we tell them, give us your risk for a year. We'll give you the cover. And we got big premiums. In fact, when Access Bank was starting, because FBN Insurance became an envy of insurance in Nigeria, because we were having big customer base. So everyone started their own insurance company in the banks. So Access Bank was starting Coronation. You can fast check everything I'm saying. So Access Bank was starting Coronation Insurance. So the branch in Ibadan where I used to work with the FBN, one of our manager in FBN, they teased him over to the other side, gave him a bigger position. And the next thing he was doing was trying to move we guys that he knew we had good hands in FBN to Coronation. But as at that time, I was preparing to come to the UK. So we're able to, I meet people, connections. Then one thing I discover is making money, being wealthy is not about age. A young person with a good strategy, sir, I can make, if I have a good strategy board that you have, I can make, what you've made in 10 years, I can make in 2 years. Example are the guys you talked about, that you said they worked there about 1920. I smiled where I was like, yeah. Because when you said you had collaborators, people who you co-handle the company, some people may be thinking they are older people, like 50-year-old. No. Things are changing gradually. And it's all about the strategy. Having the business strategy, being an entrepreneur. In the US now, there is a department the new president created, DOG, handled by Elon Musk. Could you believe that those people who are tracking all these fraudulent transactions in the United States, they are just 19-year-old guys. that Elon Musk employ. So it's a new thing. So I move forward. The next slide. This thing is on. Yeah. Making a choice. I designed this for myself as a reality. At the other side is wealth. And the first person at the top, working smart, he wants to access the wealth. He went ahead to look for, I think that's an excavator. So the excavator went further, was able to dig deep and easily bring out the wealth. While the next person is working too hard, is using a axe. I think that is where most people find themselves. And people at this second level are people like us, like me, who still pick shifts and earn a little. But when we have this knowledge of working smart, being wealthy could be much easier. And the last person down is someone who is already giving up soon. Someone who is tired and just want to walk away. So, if we want to access the first reality, I think being an entrepreneur is easily going to do that. And by God's grace, I believe God will help us in Jesus' name. The next slide. So my idea of entrepreneurship, these are what I use for my own personal self, which we can adopt. Self-discovery. I know my strengths and my weakness. If you are someone who have this convincing will, you can do business. You can talk to people. You can make people understand what idea you have, and they can buy into it, just like our first speaker said. And understanding the environment. When I got to this environment, I tried to look around. Was moving fast? For example, in Dubai, there is this man I follow, Stephen Akintayo. He's a real estate investor. He's a big man. When he said his story, he said when he got to Dubai years ago, he got there with about $200. And the first thing he did was to look around. What's moving? And he discovered so many people come on vacation to Dubai. They bring money, they rent hotels. And he was like, okay, I think this is the selling point in this country. And by God's grace today, he's a very big investor in Dubai. Then in the United Kingdom, I sat down and I look around. What's selling? If I want to be an entrepreneur in the United Kingdom, if I want to access wealth easily, if I want to be the first person who is using the excavator at my reality stuff, what part of business can I go into in the United Kingdom? Then I discovered that most of the people here eat out a lot. The white people, even the black people, maybe due to the shift pattern, you get back from your night job and you can't process the food. You go to McDonald's, Greg's, and people eat out a lot. Also real estate. Football is a football world, is a football country. Clothing. Discover people wear clothes a lot here. Shoes. So, these are my own idea of being an entrepreneur, understanding the environment. The next slide. Yeah, so I spoke to pastor some times ago, and having sat down personally, because I have a time frame, I have a map for myself, I have my own strategy. How long do I work as an employee? How long do I earn wages? How long do I earn salary? So personally, I have my own time frame. And by the end of my time frame, what do I want to do? Yeah. So what I want to do, I had a conversation with Pastor, and I told him I'm someone who I have a lot of faith. Back then when I was in school, I used to tell my friends, I said, after NYS, I won't look for a job. They smiled. The condition of the country, situation, they say, how are you going to do it? Do your father has a company? I said, leave that. After my NYSC, a month after, someone asked me, he said, have you not gotten a job? He was trying to make fun of me. I said, don't worry, I will tell you when I get a job. I was in the bank one day, and I got a text from a friend too, and he said, where are you? I said, I'm in First Bank. He said, what are you doing there? God forgive me, I lied that day. I said, I'm working in First Bank. And I have not even gotten the job. Sir, 3 months after, just 2 months after, I got a job. And a lot of my friends were envying me. I said, that's my own level of faith. Everything I want, good things, I get. So, I have this big mind of having a business. So when I spoke to Pastor about my idea, my vision, I don't want, I could build a brand of my own. I could build a brand of my own, fine. But I want to own a franchise. It goes a long way. I know someone in their mind will ask, how is he going to go about it? So let's look into a franchise. A franchise is a business where a company sells its rights of its brand and business model to another business or a person. A franchise is a business that is already tested, that has a lot of customers. Example is me. I don't know why this thing is not working. So, I was opportune to go on a franchise exhibition in London Olympia. That's the location of the franchise. Pastor gave me the invite, the link. So I registered. I was given a VIP ticket to come in, and I was really, really happy. So that was a magazine of the franchise, and that's the location, that's the entrance, and it's strictly by invitation. So when I spoke to Pastor, we had even talked about it and forgot about it. So he just called, he texted me on WhatsApp and said, send me your email, and I sent it to him. Then he sent me the link. I registered, and that was how I was able to attend that franchise exhibition. And there was this particular company I actually went there to attend the exhibition, which is McDonald's. I'm a big thinker. I'm a big dreamer. I want to make money. I want to live good life. I want to travel, not being under an employer that will control my life. You must come to work at so time and so time. So I plan to attend the McDonald's exhibition, not knowing that the exhibition was an exhibition for several companies. So I had even booked my return ticket back to London some minutes after to Newcastle, some minutes after the exhibition for the McDonald's. Otherwise, I could have touched some other companies that were present at the exhibition. In fact, the exhibition had close to like 100 companies who came there. So, franchise is all about you acquiring the business model of an existing company. You pay whatever they ask you to pay, which is the franchise fee. Then they give you the rights to be able to operate on that franchise. And they don't leave you. They monitor your progress. I think some franchise for the first year or two or thereabouts, they'll be the one to employ for you. They give you everything you need. So, for the sake of time, let's just talk about the McDonald's, which I actually, benefits of franchise. It's reduced risk of failure. How does it reduce risk of failure? Because this is a tested brand. The brand has been tested, and you would only go by their own standard of operation. It's a brand recognition. McDonald's, everyone knows McDonald's franchise. Greg's, all these big companies. They are tested, and that's why they are in vogue in markets. They haven't folded up. They have 10 years, 20, 30 years of operation, and higher profits. Yeah, why McDonald's franchise? Great brand recognition. They have a proven business model. They train, extensive training, then profits margin. This is someone, I think this is me. At the end of the year last year, I went on my Revolut app, and because I discovered that I've gone to McDonald's a lot of times. If I travel anywhere in the United Kingdom, the first meal that comes to my mind is McDonald's. I will just go on my Google map, nearest McDonald's to me. I check the distance, 0 point something miles, then I go there. And I discovered that at the end of the year, I had spent 859 pounds on McDonald's. Sounds crazy. It really sounds crazy. Well, I showed this to my wife and she screamed, like, you mean how were you able to spend this? In a week, in a day, sir, I can take McDonald's close to 2 or 3 times. Honestly. So, I realized that if a single person is spending this much, and when I go to there has been a time I went to McDonald's at the city center, and they said they had 2 hours delay. I should come back after 2 hours. I was like, these people are really, really making a lot. Now, people have money, and you don't know what to do. While I was working in the bank, sir, I have seen people stack money. We did something, the bank introduced something they call back assurance while I was there. Then the back assurance was such that, okay, we as the insurance guys, we look at you, we don't know what you want, sir. My daddy, I don't know what he wants. The only person who knows what you want is the bank. So I might just come to you and say, sir, I want to sell an insurance policy to you. So I'm looking at you and I'm like, okay, if I can get, maybe I propose an education policy for your kids, giving you the risk, the cover and everything. So I may look at you and say, okay, if I can get, in Naira now, if I can get like 5 million Naira from you. Whereas you are worth 100 million, I wouldn't know. So the bank insurance is such that it's the bank, the banking sector, they know those customers with big accounts. So what they do is they don't tell us how much they have in the account. They just give us a list. This person, this person, this person. The contacts, they will contact them. We have a guy who got a life insurance of about 300 million. And if you calculate 5% commission of 300 million, sir, you know what that is? Yes, that's a lot. That was part of the strategies that we used then. If I get back to Nigeria now, I could just walk in and say I want to start my job in Sanlam, because they've moved back to Sanlam, from ABN to Sanlam. So that was part of my achievements. So back to what I was saying. Then I told myself, if a single customer, which is me, that I know I've just spent less, 800 pounds. And you see all these white people, some take all the whole family, they eat 3 square meal in McDonald's. Family size, 50 pounds at once, evening, night. Then this company is making a lot. So, I told myself I wasn't going to take McDonald's again. When I was on my way back from the exhibition, that's a cup of McFlurry. Inside, Elena trained back to Newcastle. So it means I can't do without it. So, on the course of the training at the exhibition, they spoke about the acquisition of the franchise. The first purchase, I think, the first one, if you have, is 570,000 pounds. But you must have 25% liquid fund, which is 150K. So if you have 150,000 pounds cash and you want to go into McDonald's franchise, they have the stage of acquisition. They want to look at your experience. Sir, I think you should have a think about that. They want to see if you have managed people successfully. I think it ranges from 5 people. So once you put in the application, then you ask yourself, what size of the franchise am I buying? The first one is the one of 570. The second one is 750. I think this has a drive-through. We all know what drive-through is in McDonald's, if you visit McDonald's very well. And the last one is the 1 million size. So each of these purchase, you must have a 25% liquid cash. So where would the remaining 75% come from? Please help me with the next slide. Yeah, it will come from the bank. HSBC was able to give, they gave a talk. I think HSBC Bank has been handling McDonald's franchise. And when the bank guy came up, the white guy, he boldly said, HSBC has had 0 debt from the franchise. Every of the people who are franchising with McDonald's has had so far 0 debt. So when you have your own 25% liquid cash and they give you the 75% to add up as the 100, every of this person have paid back the loan successfully. So that is like a good what's it called? Example to tell you how profitable these companies are. But people don't know. People don't know. What everyone thinks is, I want to start a company. And it goes a long way. But the grace of us are at sometimes in your company, you could also think of franchising if your company is such that could go on franchise. So the lend up to 75%, that's HSBC, up to 7 years, no arrangement fee, no repayment fee, no requirement or personal thereabouts. So, and those are the rates at which they loan out the money. Yeah. By this, I come to the end of my presentation. So, the affirmation, I tell myself every time, I can, I must, and I will. Thank you very much.